You know, every object, like this microphone, creates a space round itself and is in space. The object, and not only outwardly, but an object inwardly, as the me, as the experiencer, as the I, as the thinker. That center creates a space in consciousness. This space in consciousness is always limited because there is always the center. Right? One may expand this space from the center, and however much you may expand, it'll always have a border, a frontier. And therefore, that space is always psychologically limited. And therefore, there is no freedom in that space. And that center, that observer, is obviously memory. Memory of what has been, whether of yesterday or 1,000 years. That center is the tradition, is the conditioned state which has been put together by time, both chronologically and psychologically. That center is the accumulation of knowledge, experience. It's always, that center is always the past. Therefore, that center is not a living thing. It is a dead memory of what has been. And when it creates a space, whether it's very, very, very small round itself, as most of us do, concerned with itself endlessly, its activities, its propositions, its ideas, it's a shabby little thing round itself. And that can expand. But however much it may expand through various tricks of thought, of compulsion, of drugs, it is always within the space which the center has created. And therefore there is no freedom, and therefore there is no peace at all. And when one observes that only when there is space, there is freedom. And that space cannot possibly exist psychologically as long as there is an observer. Right? And one must have space, as one must have beauty. Beauty which is not man-made. And is it possible then, if there is no time at all, to end what is to end the observer, and therefore to look without the interval of time. You know, time is the space between the observer and the tree. The observer is static and the tree is static, psychologically. And so, to cover the distance between the observer and the tree takes time. And that distance, which has been created by the observer and the observed, is always static, is always stationary. So when one thinks of using time or allowing time to bring about a change in the observer, you are only being caught in the static state. So when you discover that, then you ask, is it possible to change instantly what is?